right, welcome to another episode of Nerdtooine Predictions here on Junkie. Today is a very early episode. I normally don't have to do these so early, but because Crown Jewel is in Saudi Arabia, the show starts at 1 and the pre-show starts at noon. So here we are with our prediction special. Going to try to keep this to under an hour so that I can get to the prediction special, to the kickoff show to see the first match. I am this is a really hard card to predict because I could totally see a lot of these matches going awry due to them wanting to just make a splash, and because they kind of treat any show, the Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia, as like their WrestleMania over there. So I could definitely see them doing a couple things. So let's start it off. We'll go right from the top. The prediction, the pre-show. Hold on, why is this so? Whatever. The preview show will have a match between Sami Zayn and JD McDonough. So now this match is interesting because on paper, Sami Zayn should win this up, down, sideways, left, right, every which way possible. Now, since JD McDonough is trying to gain his way into the Judgment Day officially, he's been getting a lot of assistance from the Judgment Day, predominantly Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. So I could totally see Dominic screwing over Sami Zayn here and getting JD the win. However, I think to start the show off, you're not going to have Sami Zayn lose, especially not in Saudi Arabia. I think it's going to be a great match. JD McDonough has been so underutilized. When I was doing my research for another wrestler, I came across a few of his matches from back in the day, and before he came to WWE and NXT, he was a problem. He was what looked like a top-tier talent. Dude is insanely talented, and I can definitely see him being something down the line for WWE if they do it right. But for me, there's only one way this match goes. It's got to go to Sami Zayn to start the night off with a huge splash. I'm sure the crowd will go crazy when he shows up. I'm sure the crowd will go crazy when he is victorious. So I've got Sami Zayn defeating JD McDonough, even with assistance from the Judgment Day. So if you can see right here on the screen right below me, I have a record. I am 7-4 when it comes to predicting WWE pay-per-view matches since I started keeping track. And we're going to try to kick this up and do a lot better. I will admit I was one of the many people who didn't believe that the Judgment Day would lose to Cody and Jey Uso. So that was one of the ones that I got wrong. And I also got I went on a limb and said that Asuka was going to win the last pay-per-view, which I was obviously incorrect. But again, I kind of knew that one might be incorrect. So, but it still was my prediction. I was still going on a limb for that. All right. So JD McDonough losing to Sami Zayn. It'd be interesting too to see if KO is in Saudi Arabia and him and Sami can have a little like reunion because now they're on different shows, so that'd be nice, but we'll see. Moving on. Next up, we have the Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio, versus the social media megastar, Logan Paul, for the United States Championship. Logan Paul wins. Logan Paul is going to win this. I don't see any way possible that Logan doesn't win this. I think you can't have him be at the last Saudi Arabia show and go toe-to-toe with the Roman Reigns, with the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and take him to the limit, and then have him lose the very next year to Rey Mysterio, who is a Hall of Famer, one of my favorite of all time. the biggest little man in the history of WWE, as he's so often referred to. I mean, there's just no way you can have him just barely lose to Roman and then lose to Rey Mysterio. I like Rey as United States champion. I think it does a lot for the championship, but I would definitely, especially after on SmackDown, we saw Logan interacting with Bobby Lashley and the Prophets, so, and he kind of showing that he's more like them, with the heelish nature, and I feel like he's going to pull out the win one way or another. I would look to see him probably hit him with a brass knucks. They booked his right cross, was it right cross? Yeah, his knockout punch as being just that, a knockout punch. You put the brass knucks on, doesn't matter who. He could have done that to Roman and he probably could have won that match. But I definitely see it being an amazing match. People talk so much shit about Logan Paul, and I don't understand it. He's a heel. He's supposed to be an asshole, but his talents and abilities in the ring are next level. I mean, they're absolutely next level, and anyone who says otherwise is just a hater. I'm sorry, because Logan Paul is already at a place in ring where most wrestlers don't ever get, and in terms of skills. This man can go up again. Like, he took Roman Reigns to the limit. I actually believed at multiple points in the last Crown Jewel that Roman Reigns was going to lose to Logan Paul. It would have been crazy, and I had said they want to really break the internet, have Roman lose it to Paul. Well, guess what? We'll get to that later in the show. They could break the internet in a couple hours here, really easily. And I think it'd be a really smart move to do. I don't think they're going to do it, but I think it would be a very smart move. But back to this match. There's going to be some high flying. There's going to be some great spots. Look for, like I said, I'm thinking brass knucks. And I think the LWO will be out there initially, and probably his brother will show up and assist in the victory, maybe even handing him the brass knucks. But, I mean, I think he's winning regardless, but I would definitely bet that he cheats to win, and using the brass knuckles on his already knockout punch, it just makes a lot of sense. So I'm going Logan Paul defeats Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Whoo! That's a crazy thought right there, but I definitely think that's a good idea because he's also a free agent, so he can go anywhere. He can bring it down to NXT. He can bring it to Raw. He can bring it to SmackDown. He can go anywhere with it. And think about it this way: if he wins every single episode of Impulsive, we'll have that United States Championship sitting in view. That's how you make extra money off of your investment, by doing nothing but giving him a victory here. So that I definitely have Logan Paul winning against Rey Mysterio. I would prefer Rey to retain, but because I love Rey, but I think the writing's on the wall. Logan Paul will be your new United States champion in just a few hours. All right, next up, what we got? We got Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy, versus Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. So, this match is going to be awesome, first of all. I wouldn't be surprised if Priest tells everyone to stay in the back and he doesn't want to do it himself. I could definitely see that. And if that's the case, look for the start of his face turn, because what will happen is Cody's going to win this match, and if there is no interference on the outside costing Damian the match, he's going to get up and shake his hand. And there'll be some respect there. And if you notice, Cody's kind of turned into almost an anti-hero more so than a true face. Like, he's talking about like how he wants to break his neck or whatever he said, it would break his foot, because they try to injure him in the last episode of Raw. So he says, my path goes straight through you, like he's going to destroy him. That's not a normal babyface type of response to that. It's a guarantee of a win and all that stuff, but not to the aggression that he showed. So I think, and I've been pitching this for a while, I think Damian Priest needs to go off on his own and not really turn into a babyface, but more so be an anti-hero, where he's kind of on his own, kind of like a Kevin Owens type, where the heels he'll fight the heels, and he will also step to the baby faces, because he's not really either. He's a tough guy that is just not a jerk. You know what I mean? So I could definitely see Damian Priest becoming something similar to that. Damian is a very talented wrestler, unbelievably well-trained, and his kicks and that slap he does from like the clap, them just look fierce. He's a great wrestler, but you're not gonna have Cody Rhodes lose to Damian Priest on his road to finish his story, unless it's a clear, like, the referee gets distracted, someone hits him with the Senior Money in the Bank briefcase, something like that, where you rob it of him. That would be a nice way to go, but I gotta have Cody here winning this. It's in Saudi Arabia. You're not gonna have Cody Rhodes, one of your biggest stars, lose like that unless it's in a championship match. It just makes no sense, because you literally, it would do nothing for Priest and it would hurt Cody. So I've got Cody Rhodes winning in a great match, in a fair match, and Damian giving him respect at the end of the match. Which, because I said that, there's probably going to be an insane beatdown and it's going to be horrible. All right, next up. Now this is a very, very interesting match here. This is a fatal 5-way for the women's championship match, for the women's championship belt from Raw, held by Rhea Ripley, the Eradicator. And she's going to be facing quite a big task here. She's got to go up against Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and the what does she go by? Oh man, the immovable for the wow, I'm drawing a blank. I cannot believe I can't remember her name. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is horrible. Oh my god. Wow. Holy shit. She's the big one that just came back and hurt and she always hurts everybody. Why can't I remember her name all of a sudden? I gotta look it up now because I'm actually legitimately embarrassed that I didn't have this off the top of my head. Wow. What the fuck? What is her name all of a sudden? Nia Jax. Wow. And Nia Jax. Holy shit. So this match is very interesting. It can go a lot of different ways. The obvious one, and the one I'm going to pick, is that Rhea retains and looks dominant against everybody. But one thing I would really like to see is for her to lose the match by not being pinned or submitted, to create this "I got cheated" motif, and then she goes and just starts really being the Eradicator and just one by one demolishing everyone on her way back to getting her title back that she never quote unquote lost. I don't see it happening. The thing that I would bet is Nia and Rhea team up sort of to take everybody else out, because I think even though Shayna Baszler, they've presented her really well, and I love Shayna Baszler in the ring. I think she's very talented. If she goes back to that woman she was in NXT, they can make her a legitimate threat to Rhea. Raquel gave her best competition yet until Nia Jax came back and ruined it. And Zoe Stark is an up-and-comer, and I think Zoe Stark is far more talented than she's been given credit for a lot of people. She was supposed to be the next big thing. like 2 years ago, and then her knee blew out, and she had a long road to recovery. Now she's back. She did not last very long in NXT before she was promoted up to Raw, and I definitely think the dark horse for this match is Zoe Stark. But, man, I feel like this is the match that a lot of people will get wrong because they go with the easy answer. But I gotta stick with Rhea on this one. To me, it's either Rhea or Nia. In the end, those are the two best, because if you, not best in terms of skills, but best choices, because you don't necessarily want either, because the other three women don't really have a defined role. Like Zoe, she was a full-on heel with Trish, and now with her, kind of being cool with Shayna, she's kind of become a little bit of a face. They've booked Shayna as a face for most of the last year, and of course we have Raquel, the genuine baby face. It's a lot more entertaining to have the good guys chasing the bad guys. So that's why I think it's either got to be Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax. And I think if you give Nia the win, everyone's just going to hate her more, and not in terms of heat, like good heat, as in, I don't even want to watch this anymore type heat. So, and with Rhea being as big a star as she is, and the complaint against her title run is that it's been boring and she hasn't had to do much to win. This is a huge task that she will have to overcome. And if she wins, she then can go on Monday Night Raw and be like, they put 4 of the best to do it against me, and I still came out on top. And that's when either Becky Lynch or maybe even Jade Cargill, but I would say Becky, steps up to the plate and says, really, you haven't faced the man? So I think that is probably the most logical outcome. And I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley retaining her women's championship against 4 other very talented women. I would love to see, I would love for them to surprise everyone and have Zoe win it. I just don't see it happening. That's my... Zoe Stark winning is my dream pick, only because the storylines that can come from this person, who a lot of people were arguing shouldn't even be in the match because of the level of the names we have surrounding her. I think it would be just a great thing to be like, this is why we put her in the match. Look how good she did. That would be amazing. And I'm not even a Zoe Stark fan per se. I just like talented wrestlers, and she's ridiculously gifted and talented. And I think that they've made a big mistake in the past, at least, with Shayna Baszler not pushing her to the moon like they should have, because she was a monster in NXT. And Raquel's got a long career. She doesn't. While it'd be a good thing for Raquel to win for her career, I don't think it is something that would really jumpstart her career right now, at least. I think she has been shown to be dominant. She has been shown that she can hang with everyone. But I think they're going to want to season her up a little bit before they put the strap on her and make her the champion. It's definitely coming. I don't see any future where Raquel is not a future women's champion. But I don't think it'll be today. Rhea Ripley is walking out of Crown Jewel as the women's champion. All right, next up, we've got John Cena. You can't see me. Versus Walmart version Taz. Solo Sikoa. This match is probably gonna be my favorite of the night. I don't think it's gonna be the best match of the night, but it'll be my favorite, I have a feeling. Because John Cena hasn't won a singles match in 2,000 plus days. I don't see them extending that past Crown Jewel today. I'm pretty sure that losing streak ends today. Now, is he going to walk out of Crown Jewel on his own accord? Or are they going to have Solo and the Bloodline stomp him down and quote-unquote retire John Cena? That could very well happen. I'm not going to predict that because I don't want to, because I don't want them to injure, even if it is a fake kayfabe injury. But John Cena's got to win this. John Cena has to win this. And I think that, and I understand the thought process of putting him over. What's up, One Crazy Jedi? Yeah, I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel too. I'm not looking forward to the fact that I had to wake up and prep so early for this because it's the pay-per-view, the premium live event starts at 1. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this match. This whole card is fantastic. So, but when it comes to, you can put someone over in a loss. It does not have to, they don't have to win to be put over. I think that this is the moment that they give John Cena his potential final moment in the spotlight, but not closing the door for good. I think this is going to be a triumph for John Cena, and I just hope they don't continue this losing streak, because I mean, the only way they will is if they're going to keep playing it and they're working up to whenever the last event that he can attend. Ooh, that sucks. 1 p.m. my time, 9 a.m. yours. I feel bad for you when they do elimination chamber from freaking Australia, mate. You're going to be waking up and might want to go to bed early the night before. That was English. That wasn't a very good Australian accent. But I definitely think that, in my opinion, we've got John Cena defeating Solo Sikoa. And you know what? Honestly, it might even be Jimmy's fault that Solo loses. An unintentional super kick to the mouth leading to John Cena winning. I could see that. I could definitely see that. And by the way, one Crazy Jedi, the pre-show starts at noon, so I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm talking a little fast and running through these predictions as quick as I can. We've got 3 more left because I want to make sure I'm there for the start of that pre-show. But yeah, I've got John Cena defeating Solo Sikoa in a good match. But Spike versus the AA, I think there will be a Spike and an AA. I think what's going to end up happening is we will get a nasty Spike, and it's going to look like John's out, and he's going to come back, and he's going to win, and then he's going to pick up the mic, and he's not going to be able to talk. And he's going to be like, thank you. And you know what I mean? Just like, really hard to speak, implying that Spike did damage his, so that both Solo looks good for taking John away from the WWE Universe, as well as Cena finally breaking his losing streak. So I've definitely got Cena winning this match in just a few hours here. All right, running right along. Next up, we have, and this match was just thrown on quickly. It did have a lot of great build prior to Bianca going out with the kayfabe injury, because and that's what this is all about. She is on a warpath because Damage Control took her out. She took out Bayley last night and put her in, and literally after she won, she took her out of the ring and gave her the KOD through the announce table and was holding her on her shoulders and looked right at the camera, was like, "Io, this one's for you." And so, yeah. So she's one down, 2 to go, and 1 is currently still injured, so she can't really attack Dakota Kai. But Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. My gut wants to go with Bianca here, but Io's winning. And the reason why Io's going to win, it's not even because of Systems of Damage Control, which could happen. I think Io's going to win so they can turn Bianca heel. That is, Bianca should win. But I think what will happen is Io's going to win and Bianca's going to snap. And Bianca's going to post-match beat down Io and anyone else who comes to the ring. That's why my money is on Io today. I definitely think Bianca is the better champion, but just the way they booked her since she's come back, she's like, revenge is the only thing on my mind. And then her revenge is stopped, and she can't get that revenge. Because, and probably would be because of damage control cheating. And then that would be a valid reason for a babyface to snap. I was just cheated again, and I did not get my revenge, and that's it. Snaps, takes her out. That's my opinion. That's why I'm going Io Sky here for to retain her championship. And you know, thinking the fact that both the women retain might lead, and I'm so sticking with Io for my pick, but Bianca winning. So it's hard for me to say that both Rhea and Io leave Crown Jewel champion. But I definitely feel that's the most logical options. I'm going to get to that in a second. I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen. And see, like, the thing is, like, if Bianca beats Io, it doesn't hurt Io. But if Rhea loses her championship, either by getting pinned or submitted, or someone else pinning or submitting, it's going to hurt her overall brand. Because she's Rhea, and she's the champion. She's in control. But I also do think that there is an outside possibility, like I said earlier, that she loses it, and then Damian cashes in and wins and shifts the power in the Judgment Day to where eventually they all revolt against Damian, and Damian leaves. So that's another roundabout thing that could happen. But I'm still going Io Sky here. I think Io winning and turning Bianca heel is by far the best option here. Bianca winning doesn't do much for her, and the fans are kind of turning on her because she's been like put down our throats, kind of like a la John Cena. They never turn Cena heel. I don't think they would not turn Bianca, especially when her real life husband is a heel on the same brand in a faction. I mean, it just makes so much sense to turn her heel. The only way Ripley loses would be in Money in the Bank cash-in. So I disagree, One Crazy Jedi. Rhea will probably lose the title at WrestleMania or one of the big events. Only because they have some really big names either coming up through the ranks or signed recently. And like, it could be Jade that takes it off her. You know what I mean? Like, Ripley will have to lose eventually, and I don't know if I think the cash-in is a good option, but that means that she won't lose it for almost another year. Unless they do the cash-in immediately after Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, Damian still has his Money in the Bank, and he hasn't cashed in once. Or he only attempted, like, twice. You know what I mean? Like, so you look at it that way, I don't know. But and you got to remember, there's also going to be a draft coming up. They'll redraft soon. So it all depends on where she ends up. But I want Rhea. Rhea's one of the few champions that I want to have a long run, because her prestige is just so valuable. So it only makes sense to have her real high up on your list as longest reigning champion of ever. But in this match, I've got Io Sky retaining over Bianca Belair. All right, next up we have for the World Heavyweight Championship, we have Seth frickin' Rollins defending against Drew McIntyre. Drew is definitely winning this one. Drew is beating Seth for this belt. And if they don't, I'm going to be very disappointed in their booking, because this will be, the third person that had a vendetta against Seth or had something in their past they were upset about, and he still squashed them. And not intentionally. I'm not saying he's, like Hulk Hogan and like, no, I won't lose to this person. It's the booking. Like Shinsuke. They built Shinsuke up to be this monster. This guy was coming to break his back and all of this, and he beats him twice in a row. And then you got Finn Balor. He's been waiting 7 years because Seth ruined his championship. Because he beat Seth, and then Seth injured him, so he had to give up the title. And then you've got Drew McIntyre now, who was champion during the pandemic when there were no fans in attendance, and he's a little upset about that. Justifiably so, in my opinion. So, if they continue this pattern, if you've got anything that you're trying to accomplish, don't talk to Seth Rollins. And this also will turn, like, you can definitely use this and turn heel Drew, which they've been preaching and they've been hinting at for months now. And he's another, like, he's kind of in that vigilante role right now, and I think you turn him heel and you put Priest into that role. And who knows? He might be joining the Judgment Day. I doubt it, but think of how good he would look standing next to freaking Rhea, Dom, and Finn. I mean, really, think about that for a second. Think how powerful that stable is. Because is Drew not more impressive than Priest at this point? Could Priest surpass him down the line? Maybe. But right now, Drew McIntyre is the freaking, he's the man. You know what I mean? Like, he's a Scottish assassin. Drew in the Judgment Day would be deadly, absolutely. And think about all the baby faces that would hate him for turning. And think about all of the people trying to get at him would have to go through Judgment Day. It's beautiful. I think, and like I said, I think that is what's coming down the line. And I would even say that there could be a failed cash-in, which is what leads to Damien leaving the group. Like, maybe they like all don't come and help him, and he feels slighted because somehow Drew wins, and right? Remember when he was the what did they call him, the chosen one? Was it the prodigal son? When he first came into WWE, when he was part of what was it, the Eminem, where they're playing air guitar, him and Jinder and who was the other guy? Was it Slater? I can't think of Slater. Yeah. So, and then now you look at this guy, an absolute monster, and I think it's funny too. Like, all they really did was let him grow a beard and not shave his chest. And let him really embrace the Scottish side, and wearing his kilt to the ring. I mean, really, that is the only real difference. The moveset is exactly the same. His mic skills are arguably the same, maybe more confident now. That goes with age, So, I mean, that's not like necessarily, you can't really compare those two, whether Mike back then and Mike now, because it's pretty much the same person. It's just, I was that guy, now I'm this guy because I failed, And I love Drew McIntyre is one of my favorite wrestlers. I love his moveset is awesome. That the Glasgow Kiss, the Claymore. Did he get taller? I knew he did get buffer. He definitely, actually, I don't know if he even got buffer. I think he just got more ripped. Because he was always pretty big. Oh, no, his arms weren't as big as back in the day. He was more, yeah. But I didn't, maybe he did get taller. But, I mean, he's a freak. Like, and I love every bit of him. And, like, so, what I love about Drew is that he is no doubt one of the best in the ring right now in WWE. And he can do whatever he wants on the mic. Like, that, where he was talking to the New Day, and the Miz kept interrupting him, and he just kept, "Shut up, Miz! Shut up, Miz! Miz, shut up!" Like, it was perfect. Like, he is such a, like, when he's done, or even before he's done wrestling, he needs to get into film. He's got it. Like, he just got it. He can do comedy, he can do physical, he can do emotional, he's very talented. I'm a big fan of Drew McIntyre, and I definitely think he's gonna win this one. No, I definitely think Drew McIntyre is winning the championship, which will allow Seth to go get the surgery that he does need, because he does have a back issue. It's not to the point where, he's like, it's nowhere near as severe, like he could like die in the ring type thing, because if that was the case, WWE wouldn't let him wrestle. Simple as that. I mean, let's be honest here. His back may be hurting him, and he may have some issues with his back, but it's not like one super kick to the back is going to end his life, like they've kind of made it out to be, which is fine. This is all a story. This is all a television show. This is like, it's not fake. It's scripted. And, so I get that. Don't get me wrong. But like, sometimes people might, his back is broken. If his back was legitimately broken, they wouldn't let him wrestle. He wouldn't clear the doctors. They don't want to get sued. Yes, he's an independent contractor, and there's only so much you could do, but they have legitimate doctors on staff, and the doctors say you're fine and you weren't. That's a lawsuit regardless. You know what I mean? So if he was really as bad as Shinsuke made it out to be, then he probably would have already had to, kind of like, think about it. When Finn had that really bad shoulder injury, he had to give up his title. When Edge was told, like, that was an injury that they thought he could literally die from or be paralyzed from. Or look at Big E. Big E initially literally just said on an interview a couple days ago that he initially thought after surgery he'd be back in 3 months. It's way longer than 3 months, because it's a lot more complicated than that. And it's not something like a knee or a hand. It's his neck. Same thing when you look at with Seth and his back. You know what I mean? Like, if it was anywhere near as bad as they're saying it is, they wouldn't be letting him wrestle. He wouldn't be wrestling. But this would be a good way to take the title off of him, and it won't hurt Seth at all. If anything, it would put Seth back as a true babyface chasing the heel that stole his championship. So, that, and there could be a cash in from Damian Priest. Don't be surprised if Priest comes walking down to cash in and Rhea runs out and stops him, because she was seen talking to Drew McIntyre a few weeks ago, and she's never told anyone what that was about. So it could be one of those things like, hey, if we kick out Damian, you want to join us? And he's like, I don't want to, but you know what, I might. I definitely see Drew taking this and giving Seth some time off to get his back checked out. But we've got Drew McIntyre defeating Seth frickin' Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. And last but not least, we have LA Knight, versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship. Roman wins. I mean, there's no way Roman loses anywhere but WrestleMania. I've said that before, and that's the problem with Roman, is that this is going to be your main event, and there's nothing main event about it besides who are in it. I love LA Knight. He's a great wrestler. I love that he's gone from literally someone who they gave a horrible Dupree, Max Dupree, whatever the hell his freaking first name was, when they had him the male model gimmick, and then they let him be LA Knight, and look where we are now. The only way Roman loses the title here is if TKO decides, let's break the internet, because that's what would happen. Nothing that happens in the wrestling community over the next month, 2-3 months maybe, unless he loses it right away, would be Roman is no longer champion, LA Knight is champ. That would be the biggest story till the end of the year, probably. Probably. I mean, think about, like, and that's with, what, 2 pay-per-views coming from AEW? And that's with another pay-per-view coming from WWE? It would be the news. It would break the internet. But I don't see it happening. I don't. Now, the one thing that would be super cool, and I mean super cool, is for maybe Randy Orton to come back here, and that be what screws Roman, and he loses the championship to LA Knight because of an RKO out of nowhere, setting up a beef between Roman and Orton, as well as a, hey, Mr. Universal Champion, you owe me one. And I would be in for a Randy Orton LA Knight match. I don't know about you guys. I sure as hell will be. But let's be real. They're not taking the strap off of Roman. They're just not. I mean, Roman Reigns is going to be the champion until WrestleMania for sure. Like, no questions asked, in my opinion. And honestly, maybe even further. I can see them extending this to be freaking eventually beating Hulk Hogan's run. It's time to take the belts off of Roman. It is. The only way, see, now, and I pitched this before, for me, there is one way to keep the belt on Roman. And he doesn't even have to appear all the time. I would prefer it if he at least showed up to SmackDown multiple weeks, in a row, and not just the one previous to the pay-per-view that he's going to be on. Weekly. I mean, he doesn't have to wrestle, but show up. Why not? I mean, I understand he's Roman Reigns and he's negotiated this deal to be able to come and go as he pleases or whatever they've agreed to. I get that. He deserves that. He has helped propel this company to its heights that it never before had. I get that. But if you want to legitimize his reign again, and if you want to make it so he is looked at as one of the most unstoppable forces in the WWE's history, shed him of all his tribal, his whole court. Take away the wise man, take away Jimmy, take away Solo, and make him do it himself. You're still in, again, we talk about wrestling. Wrestling is not fake, it's scripted. You decide the outcome. So you can have Roman defeat everyone by himself like he used to. They've made him out to be this greatest of all time, but can't win a match on his own. He can't. Find me the last match that he won on his own. And I get it, he's a heel. That's what everyone always says. Oh, he's a heel, he's supposed to cheat. Yes, let him cheat. Not have him completely dismantled. Like with WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. Cody was destroying him. Cody was making him look weak. And then out of nowhere, Solo comes, spikes him, and he loses. Roman didn't win that match. Roman lost that match. The referee didn't see the interference. And Solo won that match. You want to make Roman Reigns this greatest of all time, this best reign ever. Make him do it himself, which he has the ability to do. And again, you don't even have to increase his match load. Just increase his appearances a little bit so that he has more time to interact with more people and has the bloodline fall from around him. People start seeing, oh, he's weak. Let's all attack the tribal chief. And one by one, he sends them away on his build, and then you build him up to be this unstoppable force again, and then whoever takes it from him is gonna their career, even someone like Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso, who already have a huge following, a huge career, it will propel them to heights that can't be fathomed at this point. If they take the belt off him now, whether it's LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, whenever they do, it's gonna be like, oh, they finally took the belt off him. not everyone turned on Roman. He then went God mode again, for real, beat everyone down, and then one hero stepped up and dethroned him. That's how you write a compelling story. That's how you write a compelling title run right there and make it so that people like me, for instance, like I like Roman Reigns. I have nothing against his skills in the ring. I like him on the mic. Granted, he wasn't always that good, but he's come a long way. He's amazing. And as he said in his promo on SmackDown, what do the kids call this? This is cinema. It is. It's fucking gorgeous what he's doing. It's amazing. But to have him continue his title reign by either not showing up, getting everyone else in his bloodline to help him win, continuously getting, like, think about it. How many times as the show prior to the pay-per-view did he take, Premium Live Event, did he take someone's finisher and look weak the night before, only to still look weak the next night, but win because of the Usos interfering, or Solo interfering, or something along those lines? He doesn't look strong anymore. And that's a problem. He's the face of your company, as he said. So you want to make him the face again and make him a legitimate face to where you actually are, people are afraid of him? Have him do it on his own. I mean, hell, maybe you can keep Paul Heyman with him as the only one who stayed with him. Think about all Brock Lesnar did by himself. He was feared. You don't feel the same way with Roman Reigns. And I think that is 100% the fault of the booking of him and what they've allowed him to get away with. And that's, and maybe this is his last extended vacation. Maybe he had it in his contract and TKO can't change anything, and then his next one he signs, they're going to make him actually be there. Who knows? I'm not in those rooms. I don't get those press releases. I don't know. I can only go by what the information I see, what I'm given, and he's looking very weak. And I don't think it's even intentional. Like, I don't think that, because, you can make someone look weak on purpose for a reason, to build them back up, or, a lot of different things you can do with that. But when you're talking about this guy, Roman Reigns, he's not in any way, shape, or form supposed to look weak at all. No way. He is the biggest thing you got in the company right now. And he doesn't even seem like an unstoppable force like he used to. He really seems just like, because like all his matches end the same way. It's literally he's getting beat up, and then someone interferes, he gets a spear off and a Superman punch, game over. And then there's a beatdown afterwards. It's literally the repeat. And if I don't see this going any different, unfortunately, as bad as I wish it does. I think LA Knight's going to come out looking really good, just like, and if Logan Paul wasn't a heel, everyone would have loved him after that crown jewel last year. But because he's a heel jerk that everyone is starting to despise, he didn't get as much. LA Knight will be pushed through the moon by taking him to the limits. Because then they'll go, oh man, LA Knight would have won if... Put him in that conversation of people who could potentially be the guy. But I don't know. I do hope... I would love to see LA Knight win here. I think it'd be a smart move. It would absolutely. You think that Kim Kardashian ass pic broke the internet? Shit. Roman Reigns losing to LA Knight, yeah, in Saudi Arabia. There literally might not be internet tomorrow. It literally just crashed because everyone at the same time tried to post about how insane that is. But yeah, I definitely got Roman winning here. And overall, this is probably going to be one of the better pay-per-views of the year, premium live events for WWE, because they have to put on a great show because the Saudis pay them a ton of money to put these shows on, and to basically not only for, the venue and things like that, but that's also about promoting it and getting it to, the tourism and all that stuff. So it's a big deal. They have to do a big deal. And it has to be basically like a second WrestleMania. But Roman Reigns is only losing that title at WrestleMania. I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money that they give. So they got to put on a banger. This is going to be a great PLE, and I'm really looking forward to it. Speaking of, the preview, the kickoff show is about to start in 10 minutes. So we're going to wrap up here. One Crazy Jedi, I think you're the only one left in the chat. What match do you think is going to be the best match of the night? Not your favorite, best match of the night. Because my money on best match of the night is going to be Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That's my match of the night. Yep. And, if there was anyone besides Roman Reigns, they would be the main event. And I really can't stand that WWE goes, oh, it's a triple main event. No. There is one main event. Okay? You can have main event quality matches the rest of the show, but there is one main event. So it's a massive triple, quadruple, 10 times main event. Wrong. Still one main event, some great matches. So, yeah, definitely Seth versus Drew is going to be the match of the night for me. I think a sneaky match that could end up being unbelievable is Ray versus Logan Paul. That's a sneaky pick for match of the night, too. Like, if that match blows all the other matches out the water, I would not be surprised at all. Because those two are just going to put on a great show. I mean, see, the thing about Logan Paul, and this will be the last thing I say before we leave, Logan Paul is, curb stomp versus Claymore. I like that. Pedigree versus Glasgow Kiss. With Logan Paul, he's playing. Everyone understands he's acting. Like, yes, he is a jerk, whatever. But he's a self-made billionaire or millionaire, whatever the hell he is. You kind of become that way in most cases. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a guy who is just evil to his core. Like, people he's the devil. I mean, he's a social media personality that used his social media prowess to make a shit ton of money. What's your fucking problem? Let's be real. I mean, that's just jealousy. That's all it is. That's all it is. I am comfortable enough to admit that I am jealous of what he's been able to do and would love to be living the lifestyle that he's living. I mean, who wouldn't? Anyone who says they wouldn't, I don't believe him. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, match of the night for me is going to be Seth versus McIntyre. And I think McIntyre wins, as we said earlier. But don't be surprised if Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio steal the show. Yes. One Crazy Jedi, 100%. I will be doing a preview show before every PLE for WWE for at least as long as I have Peacock, or at least, you know what I mean? I don't guarantee that I'm going to be able to watch like all the AEW pay-per-views because it's $50. You know what I mean? Sometimes I can't just drop 50. I got a lot of things I'm working on between my comic book, my exclusives, all that stuff. I can't guarantee I can drop 50. But I can drop 12 or whatever dollars it is for Peacock, you know what I mean? And moving forward, apparently there will be an AEW thing where they have their own, which is stupid. But I mean, so when it comes to that, I can't guarantee I'll watch every AEW, but I will be watching every single WWE PLE, and I watch SmackDown, Raw, and every other all the AEW shows every week. I didn't actually watch all of Rampage last night because I went to bed. I was in bed by 11 o'clock last night. Anyone who knows me is like, 11 o'clock? So there's two reasons why I have Peacock, and I'm actually glad I did because there's a lot of shows that I've actually been able to watch that I never watched. You know what I mean? Like for Parks and Rec, I never watched that from start to finish, which I have now. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, things like that. But I also have it because they're going to be doing the Community movie. Once they announce that they have greenlit Community movie, that's when I grabbed it. And then I found out later, oh my God, they have WWE stuff? Oh my God, they do the PLEs on here? This is awesome. So And rumor is they're going to be moving from Peacock and probably going somewhere else because, which I don't understand if maybe that these companies just overvalued. I've heard good things about that. I have not watched that yet. That partially because of the strike. I can't talk about it, so I've been trying not to watch a lot of the new stuff so I can watch it fresh when I can talk about it. But apparently Fox didn't renew their deal with SmackDown because it didn't reach their revenue that they anticipated for the ads, which is crazy because there's literally commercials mid-match now, mid-entrance. Like I don't remember that as a kid. I never remember someone coming down to the ring and then literally a commercial, and then the next person comes down to the ring, and then a commercial before they start the match, and then a commercial during the match. I don't know. So I don't know if it's just the initial evaluation was too high, because you can't tell me that you're not raking in tons of money on these ad revenues. Period. I don't care what anyone says. You may have just overvalued what you thought you were gonna get. That's it. But yeah, the commercials have got out of hand. I can't stand it. That's why I literally what I do now is I don't start any of the things live. Like the PLEs I will because there's no commercials, but like Raw, SmackDown, AEW, all that stuff, I literally pick it up about a half hour in because I record it now with DVR and just wait about a half hour, so I've got a good chunk of commercial I can just go through. Because I can't stand it. It's horrible. But all right, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you all for stopping by. One Crazy Jedi. Always great to have you in the chat. We will be doing more of these over here. Pretty soon we're going to be launching multiple podcasts on here. We did the first episode of the Anvil podcast, which is a creators podcast where anyone who creates anything, whether it's art, comic books, music, cosplay, acting, all that good stuff, will come on and talk about their craft. Forged in Fandom, You're the Hammer. And ooh, I like that. I just added that You're the Hammer at the end there for the first time. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you give me a follow here. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube or TikTok, wherever else you're seeing it, please give me a follow over here on Junkie so you can catch these live. And there's also great other people on this platform doing shows like mine, as well as sales, NFTs, pops, cards, comics, you name it, we got it. This is the future, the new social collecting platform, Junkie. Until next time, this is Nerdtooine signing off. Stay nerdy, my friends.